The boys who know what they're doing. VERTEX, well, this is their first foray in a while out of their region. I've just seen the haircut of the second man in, and that is horrendous. We'll have to see if their nuke is any better.
What the hell? Is that like the monkey style?
I think it's a V for VERTEX, you know. I bet if you looked at it top down, it's a V. That is horrendous, but we'll have to see if their CT side of nuke is any better getting into things. Two sets of Julies, a flashbang in the hands of Brace. We'll have to see if they can get anything done. Malta's going to start pushing into the hut early, looking to take a contact up against hAdji on that Glock. It's 2 guns against 1, but that's not always enough as Keoz diving down. 3 players down secret as well simultaneously. Falcons looking to hit them from all sides at once here as they've taken the lower site control, charging through into double doors. Keoz on the drive-bys managed to dink a man up as well. Malta will deal with him, but it's not the upper site that's their target. Instead, 3 players down lower. hAdji on that lurk, and it should be a relatively open bomb plant as well. CT side only just starting to work their way in.
Yeah, I think the one player who was at ramp also was the dual Berettas of PC, so he couldn't really afford to peek in and do anything about it. So the bomb goes down. See now with the man advantage though if the retake is smooth sailing or not, because those Glocks already are landing dinks across the board. Python with a double, Keoz taking one before he goes down as well, keeps them in a pretty firm 3-on-2. And, well, with the bomb planted for all of them at this point, there was just nothing that could be done in the 2-on-3, let alone the 1-on-3 once PZ was left alone. He'll be finished up. It's going to be Team Falcons taking themselves that opening pistol round. And as I said, I do interchange Z and Z. I think that's the first time I've said Z all stream, though. I've said Z like loads of times. I don't know why. It just, after a P, Z just makes more sense. It rhymes.
Yeah, PZ does sound better.
Yeah.
If we're pronouncing it wrong, forgive us.
PZ.
Well, you might do. You never know. But VERTEX down onto the half
like
pipe.
Which is wrong. So.
You can tell it's been a long day because we are just slowly unraveling here. Triple nades towards outside, not finding much of anything though. CT side with a handful of 5.7s, limited util. Just hoping that somebody makes a mistake, in all honesty. Boosting a man up, Apoc going to go up into an off angle. It's a rough one to clear as well for T-sides. It does lend itself to at least a kill. But if they avoid it entirely, then the angle is of no consequence. Still decent utility available for this T-side as well. They've got full outside smokes, which is what they're going to fall back onto now as Python lines up back truck. Start to take that outside control again, knowing that they have the firepower advantage, especially at range. Just baiting the idea that they've taken that control away, baiting Brace into a rotation down onto that lower site, baiting out another smoke from this CT side defense. Now they are going to start to queue towards the ramp, and this is where that crossfire exists between PZ and Apoc. So they start to charge in. He's desperately trying to bait them into that second 5.7. Maka has cleared it, but it's a rough old fight. hAdji will put his man down. Keeps it even at the very least on the 4-on-4 as now they start to charge into that lower site. The backstab trying to come in from Roflko, but he's not quite able to find it. And it leaves PZ an isolated man. Brace, meanwhile, though, he's finding these flanks and the 5.7s continuing to work for the Aussies. Keoz, the next to fall to PZ, and somehow it's Python. 1v4, the 5.7 singing for this CT side, continuing to find damage, and Python, he's being baited, he's being switched, Malta connects, and it's a round out of nothing for VERTEX.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous from PZ in towards Dark on that 5.7. I mean, getting away with the first kill, nasty enough, but then the fact that he's able to get that second kill from below while they're just raining bullets down on him is kind of silly that he's able to get away with it. Either way, VERTEX are not going to be complaining. They pull off a force buy. They manage to put Team Falcons now down onto the pistols and the Kevlar with very little behind it as well. So it should be VERTEX's chance to have a fairly easy 2-1 scoreline. I don't think they're really going to be contested too much. Obviously, it is still a force buy. And they've lost the outside control with it. I was going to say Attack 9 already getting down secret, so there's always that to worry about. But now that they've picked up a kill in the meantime, they get the advantage. They should be able to just keep things fairly straightforward if they can trade it out at the very least.
Just got to keep it clean. Good damage through the smoke. Brace able to double it as well. Keoz, the next one to fall into his grasps. hAdji not able to find the connection either. AK cleans up house. All 5 players kept up for VERTEX is a nice little win for that CT side as well. Allows them to start building up their money. keep their hands on the rifles. They've got a massive bonus round coming in now, as we won't see any investment from the Falcons whatsoever. PZ through the smoke opens up. Brace cleans up house off the back of it. Lovely stuff from the CT side.
Yeah, it'll be another similar round here, I'd imagine. Glocks wanting a quick play towards A on that nade. Doesn't do as much damage as I thought it would. Okay, they're actually going to get away with it a little bit, at least until they charge into the crosshair of Roflko, who does not struggle at all. Gets the 4K stolen away, sadly, but not too big of a deal as long as they get all the kills cleaned up, and I think it was actually Malta that stole that one as well. So you do want the SMGs getting a piece of the action. There we go, 3-1, a clean round, and we find out how things are really going to start going as we get into this first gun round.
This is where things get interesting, and this is where we're going to see both teams stretched. My eyes hurt looking at that haircut. I'm just not going to look at it, you know. Full rifles out for Falcons. Limited utility, though, again. Plenty of smokes, but limited on the mollies and flashes to get it done. So they're going to go for this early outside play. Using near enough all of their utility to open it up. One smoke, 2 flashes, all that remain. Keoz taking damage on the cross, down to single digits. They'll get down into the lower side, but with Brace ready and waiting, a Galil and a hAdji ready to send. This could do a lot of heavy lifting for that CT side now. 4 players queued up and waiting. A well-placed nade from Brace will get him a kill and a little bit more. It's a split second too early. Keoz ducking behind his teammates. Keeps him alive a little while longer. Minute left on the clock as this lower side take looks to come in. That jump peak spots 3. Brace bolts straight out of control. Knows he's got to get out alive, and he's being hunted down. Multiple bodies. Too many targets. Keoz and Maka combine. 2 quick kills. That's the lower side taken. PZ knows there's a low HP player somewhere. The nades continue to rain in, but they're not getting it done. Keoz takes both of them on the chin, down to 40 HP. But he's still alive. He's still kicking. And that will be a second round of the T side on the board for the Falcons, as we see VERTEX just starting to disconnect from it, looking to hold on to the rifles they've got.
Yeah, understandably. I mean, once you lose B without even a single kill coming in, even if you've done some good damage, it's just never really too worthwhile going for it. Never quite know how much damage has been done either. Yeah, Team Falcons, convincing first gun round from them. That's exactly what they needed, and for VERTEX, at the very least, with the save coming in, it would have been pretty much a bonus round even if they didn't save the weapons over, because they have a pretty good economy. But now especially, they should have a bit left over on pretty much everyone, the players who survived especially. It's only PZ, I think, who won't have enough because he went straight onto the op. But that's fair, you want to get the best of the best out as early as you can. And he's not going to have an op to challenge him on the other side quite yet either. I don't know if Falcons will expect them to have this good of a buy either. This might catch them off guard a little bit.
It's pretty solid. Managed to bring everything but the kitchen sink. Good economy management by VERTEX. It did look pretty flush for cash when they went for that kind of save. Puts them in a very solid position here as PZ picks himself up the AWP, looks to take control of Secret. Keoz, the only player really looking for a contest, and I don't think PZ saw him on the first time out. Just popped his head above Silo right as PZ went back down Secret. Now as he comes up, he walks right into the awaiting crosshair. Keoz with the gift. The man advantage as well, and APOC Dud looking to be put under pressure. Nice timing on that Molotov. Just as they started to look to pull the trigger, it allows him to relocate. Still is going to be the ramp pit just behind the utility for this T side as they look to get once more into that lower site, knowing they've taken the Secret player out of the equation, and that lower site itself is probably fairly sparsely occupied. What do they know? It's completely open for the taking. The utility should give the game away, but they're only just starting to plan their rotations. APOC Dud looking for the backstab, but there's nobody home. I don't know if they even commit to this at this point.
Have to be on plant down on B, of course. That one lurker getting taken out elsewhere, and as you said, you don't know if they even want to give the retake a go at this point. No, they don't. Don't want to leave the garage at all. Happy enough to stay up on A. Once they realized the bomb had started making its way down towards B, I think they had already given up on it at that stage, as you pointed out. So it was a very safe approach to the round. And at this point, if you're Falcons, you'd probably go for this hunt a little bit. You let them get away with it in the previous round, saving over pretty much all of their weaponry. This time you have a bit of economy, you could justify throwing at least a couple of these AKs towards them.
Don't seem too bothered.
That wouldn't be ideal.
Just a complete stalemate. Bomb goes off, we level out at 3 apiece, 4 players alive on both sides. I mean, it's doing a fantastic job of keeping the CT economy honest, and I think it's a little bit of honesty from VERTEX, right? Looking at a 4-on-4 with no control on the lower site, going, we're probably not going to stick the landing on that retake, so there's not much point throwing 4 rifles away at it. We'd rather have the economy, play the long game. Gives them a little bit more breathing room here at 3 apiece. Does allow Falcons, though, again on that T side to start building their own bank accounts. Decent money built up for that T side now as PZ trying to take that AWP in towards Squeak. Mollied off. Smokes to follow as well. Keoz spamming on through to make absolutely sure that AWP can't get near it. Malta will be forced to drop. A lack of control into the lower site was their undoing last time. They don't want that to happen again.
Yeah, so they literally have Malta waiting in the vent. The only problem is it obviously leaves things maybe a little bit weaker elsewhere. See if they're able to actually abuse any of these weaknesses, because it seems like outside definitely not really being watched, at least not actively. Apok just spotting it from heaven. Otis timing as Malta moves back up the ladder just as they start coming out of door. That is horrible. Wouldn't have been much more use at the bottom of the vent either way, I don't believe, since they are ending this on A, it seems, but his teammates have a lot of pressure on their shoulders. Roflko on the bomb site. It was a good job to get that one. It was a bit of a struggle, sure. Importantly, did find the frag, and I was going to say what Apok did alongside him. They had the numbers on the bomb site, but now Maka with that kill drops towards B. And although PZ had a little bit of a read on it, he sadly doesn't land the shot, drops the dark instead now, and is going to be pinned in by the Molotov. This is horrible. There's a chance for it to be brought into the one-on-one. Maka, okay, just lets him burn. He's like, okay, I'm not even going to give you the chance to have an up shot rattled off in my direction. It's all on Apok Dud, and he's left on 22 health, 1 bullet to the body. There it is. Plenty of time to recover the op as well, and a 4th round is going to be found for Falcons off the back of a massive clutch. Honestly, it was looking a little bit hopeless. There was a chance for the op shot as well as he was crossing out a single over the site. Just a few chances there that PZ missed that let the round slip away, sadly.
Yeah, he hits either of those shots, hits the initial cross or the first shoulder. It's job done, round done. He's lost his teammate already, but as you said, a couple of missed opportunities. That's all it takes, and Maka takes full advantage to clutch up. 4th round on the board. The buys, courtesy of those insistent saves, will keep on coming. Money finally starting to break down for VERTEX ESC if this round goes wrong. Outside control to be tussled for. Keoz looked to check it initially, but Brace just tucks deep into the corner, gets away with one. Python not able to find the refrag either. It's a rough old fight for him, and Brace is able to double up before he retreats into Mini itself. A lovely opening set for the CT side. Finds themselves 3 on 5 to the good. Keoz will at least be able to wrestle one back. Roflko again just showing a little too much shoulder inside of the site itself. But still the man advantage remains. hAdji, Keoz, and Maka. You've got to admit, if there's only 3 Frenchmen on this roster you'd want in this kind of a situation, it is these 3. Absolutely cracked, but for now not being given much. 50 seconds left on the clock. Slowed to a crawl as they want to take this outside control, but aware that PZ is lying in wait. AWP, crack angle to work with. It's going to be the ramp again. They're going to try and isolate Apok Dud up on top of these boxes. He needs a kill here. Can't afford to go down for free on the headshot angle. Tucks his head. Waits for the timing. Lines them both up. Clean spray down from Apok Dud. And it's Maka again. This time 1v3. Apok Dud posts himself on the angle. This should be a right-hand peek. So Maka gets a freebie. 20 seconds left though. 3 bodies still to find. PZ posted on his drop as well is going to make this surely impossible. Indeed it is. 4th round on the board. VERTEX, an immediate response, and one that puts the economy of Falcons back on the line.
Yeah, we're getting the trades back and forth. This is something that hasn't really been present in either of our earlier games during the day, so I would very much like a bit of a scrappy affair between the two of these, and that looks like it might be what we're getting right now. That spray down was nasty. When it comes together with the M4 like that, it just feels very satisfying. Race so far as the impact player. Still early stages, but doing a pretty good job for his team. 7-3. Followed closely by pretty much everyone else who's also doing their job. We're getting back into it, and again, the buy is being pulled together. It's honestly pretty much perfect. The weaponry should be fine. hAdji has enough for his AK as well. So yeah, no real weaknesses to this buy, other than the fact that they don't have an op if they wanted it.
I feel like this is just about how Valve envisioned the economy when they made the changes, just infinite buys. Everyone's got everything they want all of the time. Brace, oh, you're in trouble, mate. Fast dive from Python gets a freebie. Aggression to counter, but Python just continuing to take names. Keoz grabs one more on the ramp. They're going to charge into Apoc Dud. He'll get one, but the trade is immediate. Python was touted as the next big thing in French CS, and he's starting to show his legs here. Couple of monstrous headshots, Keoz with a couple of his own, and well, Roflko. They know you're the A-site anchor. They know you were around here somewhere, and hAdji is having none of your antics. Clean shot, 5 on the board. T-side really starting to come together now for Falcons, as it does break the economy near enough of VERTEX. Malta, the only person really in a position to full buy it, will be pistols at best. And if they can get past these 5.7s, that's already a solid T-side on their map pick from Falcons.
Yeah, it's already not too bad. I suppose I wasn't really taking that too much into account what I was saying about the back and forth, just because I was happy to see some rounds finally being traded. Obviously, it does favour Falcons with them being on the T side. Zeus's? Yeah, I was wondering if PZ, if the man up close on ramp had one. That looked like it was a little bit more ranged than normally those Zeus's will give you. But I don't think he's going to complain. The recovered AK was good for a kill as well. Sadly, they don't keep the advantages. It's a 3-on-3, but there's another Zeus. Oh, he might have found the player back in lobby if he had have waited. Now they're coming in from both sides. This is going to be tough to deal with. Zeus might have been the better option if he pushed in a little bit closer. Sadly, it's a dink from the USP. Any sort of upgraded pistol even would have done the job there for him.
Yeah. They've done a fantastic job, VERTEX, of making these pistols sing and getting a lot from them. But this time, 1v3, Apoc Dud. They know where he plays. Bomb's going to go down. Keoz isn't watching the vent just yet, but as soon as they start to play whack-a-mole, he'll turn, and it's a 6th on the board. At this point, a solid T-side. Anything else is a bonus. VERTEX able to scramble the buy together. That extra money from Malta will contribute towards an AWP. A little bit of magic here from PZ. Gets himself the 2-piece. 6 for the scoreline. Falcons, if they get this one over the line, onto a very dominant start to their map pick. Fast play going to come in. First time they've really called this, and they are charging out into the A side. Python and hAdji with 2 quick kills. Maka finds the 3rd. It's done. It's one of those rounds that's over before you've even really started. Keoz spots out PZ. It's a rough old fight, that. He can see Keoz's legs. Keoz can't see very much of him at all, but PZ now going to be hunted down relentlessly. They want that AWP. He will deal with Keoz. There is money, and that Molotov could not have been placed better. Keoz is disgusting. Apoc Dud tucked into the ramp. Well, he'll try and survive a little while longer, see if he can hold on to his M4, because that is going to be critical moving forward. Falcons have their 7th. Starting to see the logic behind that nuke pick now, looking very well drilled as a unit, very clean. Lovely stuff from the T side to connect their 7th round.
Does Keoz remind you a bit of Pete Davidson, or is that just me? Seen it in the picture
Just
a little
you.
bit. I've seen it in the picture a little bit. I've never noticed it in his other pictures. It's just that picture, the way he's got like the smile on his face.
I think you've started hallucinating, mate. I know you're tired.
Oh, no, that was hours ago, yeah. Like a couple hours ago, I thought we had some good CS, but it was a very one-sided 2-0. Yeah, I kid. We get another pause in. from VERTEX. Understandably so, their money has been completely run down. Bit of investment from Roflko. He'll buy what he can afford to put in. They obviously have full loss bonus at this stage, so back up the M4 as much as you can. But it should be A4 for Falcons. They likely are going to be already leading the half for themselves, and even if VERTEX slow them down, even if they manage to recover this into a 7-round CT side, they're still going to have a pretty tough time turning it around in that second half, so they need to take it up a notch right now.
They've been good with these pistols. Consistently found damage. Found it round on occasion as well. Need a little more where that came from. Keoz the first to walk into APOC dud. Trade is immediate, but there should be someone there for the rifle. Not that Brace needs it. Clean headshot to find Maka, and now again the numbers starting to get a little ugly. Malta going to play inside of this smoke. Waits for the reload. There it is, the freebie. AK in hand now as he looks to dance around red. Bullets whizzing past him left, right, and center. He wants to get that rifle away, but Keojin's not having it. The damage has consistently been a problem. These kind of buys have consistently thrown a spanner in the works of Team Falcons, but now 2-on-2, opportunity to stabilize. Roflko spotted down. Not that it matters. Will be traded by hAdji, but that is a disgusting shot on the 5-7 to leave it in the 1v1. And Peasy is a complete unknown to hAdji at this point. He's gone for the flank on the flank. Roflko was the first to try this. Peasy wants to be the second, but he's not sure. Doubt starting to creep into his mind as he works his way back into that lobby. 40 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time for both of these boys to play with, but hAdji is nervous outside. Clearing every angle as meticulously as possible. Molotov towards Secret. That starts to give the game away. Peasy knows it. Tucks himself in deep. 24 seconds left on the clock. They want utility. hAdji's trying to pick up nades off his fallen teammates, and that's buying more time. 20 seconds. He creeps his way into this site, but Peasy lies in wait inside of that hut. A bad plant, and he's done for. hAdji's going to plant safe. Taps it behind the silos. 10 seconds. The next one has to be a stick. Peasy knows it. He starts to play his hand. He's going to charge on in. The 5-7 tapping away. hAdji strafes, gets away from it and connects the headshot. Again, the pistols very nearly get it done, but the last man standing is able to get it over the line for Falcons.
And although we're getting some close rounds, it's just not really good enough, unfortunately, right now for VERTEX. A nice team effort from Falcons as well. There's no one that's really massively standing out. Yeah, between 8 and 6 kills on everyone, rather. It is what you want to see. It's very promising for Falcons in general, how they're performing. Nice little pickup by Maka. Where was that? Was that a player trying to creep around the credit card? I think I thought there was a smoke down there, but he must have somehow managed to get himself a little bit of vision, or else the player attempted to peek above it. Either way, it did not work out too well. Now it's counter aggression in towards lobby. A double peek in towards the hook works for a kill. Unfortunately, they've just completely abandoned outside. They didn't expect that Keoz could wrap around, apparently. Roflko now under pressure, but players really coming from everywhere. It allowed Maka to step into hut there when he went back out for the trade. There had been a player back towards main as well that he was also worried about, of course. Leaving it all on Malta now. Doesn't know where that second player's gone specifically either, unfortunately. See, being cautious of everywhere.
They know where he is. Maka firing off warning shots. Not quite able to connect. The double peek comes in, and Maka this time will put the final nail in it. 9 on the board. It's scrappy, but Falcons are continuing to find purchase on this T side, and once again, you look over at the economy of VERTEX and you start to ask some difficult questions. Big opening pick from Maka once again. That AWP really starting to sing for him. He was one of those players, Maka and hAdji, who you almost require to step up if you're going to be Falcons and you're going to be successful in the long run. Maka going for the dual IGL stroke AWP combination. Seems to be working out well for him at the moment, as again, they're going to brawl for this outside control. This time Python leading the way up against the pistols. Looking to get it done nice and cleanly. The early man advantage nipped away as Peasy just gets a little too keen on the deagle peek. And you can see Falcons are a little conscious that these rounds have been rough for them historically, but Keoz is looking to put an end to that nonsense. A second kill. Python posted now. It is a little bit of an awkward fight, and you can see he's conscious of it. Going to drop his molly and turn tail. But they're running out of bodies to get something done here. Tags exchanged between Maka and Roflko, who's continuing to get a stupid amount of work done with that 5-7. Even finds the kill, buys a little bit of damage. Malta there to convert, and again, 2 on 3, sure, but the damage is fantastic. APOC done on the spam down gets Keoz, and with Maka on 7 HP, this starts to feel very viable. They know where Malta is. hAdji needs to deal with him cleanly, though, and these 5-7s, they just build them different down under. As Maka on 7 HP is left 1v2. I don't understand how they continue to do this, but those Aussie 5-7s, they are built different. Maka to drop into the lower site. Silent drop comes in. He's got the bomb. It will be a plant on 7 HP. Should be able to get it in plenty of time as well. As soon as he opens these doors, the game is up. He knows it. Smoke goes down. Plant to follow. Malta the first to drop. Has a Molotov to work with. Looks to isolate the angles. Nice molly. Cuts Maka off one line of offensive. Has to fall back into double doors. Locking out the silo. So APOC Dud starts to work his way down that ramp. They've cleared most of their corners now. They know there's only 1 or 2 places Maka could remain. As the AWPer posts up. Picks the wrong angle. APOC Dud will start to make his way out. Down the ramp onto the site. Spotted. Dealt with. Next up Malta. Taps the bomb. Wants Maka to peek. Maka's not giving it to him just yet. Now he spams it. Opens the double doors. Spots nothing much. That bomb's so far gone. Maka just toying with his prey. Nothing that Malta can do. It's a valiant effort. Maka will go down with the bomb, but he pins Malta to the back door before he does so. 10-4, double digits on the T side. The 5-7s, again, getting a hell of a lot of work done, but not quite enough for VERTEX.
Yeah, no. Again, getting... Sorry, voice giving out on me. Again, getting really, really close, but it's just not good enough at this stage, unfortunately. 10-4. I mean, it was 4-4 at one point, right?
Yeah.
They had kept it neck and neck up until that point when I mentioned that we were finally getting a bit of back and forth. And then Falcons were like, sorry, what was that? Don't know what you're talking about. We're just going to dominate the rest of this T side, and that's how it's gone. A little bit of a ramp push. Looks like they're actually going to go for the full-on push. Yeah, they've called over a few more players. APOC Dud, the only one here at the moment actually spotting it, and that smoke doesn't really make things any easier. You can't take a proper peek on it. Doesn't want to peek that close to the wall. Of course, it shows his shoulder way too soon. Just gets spammed down at that point. So their molly did still kind of work in the long run, but now they're being actually pushed in through lobby as well. So this is getting a bit awkward. They've flipped positions.
Gives a lot of info away to VERTEX as well, as they'll start to rotate more bodies into the lower site. Brace to join PZ. Exec will come in, the utility trying to lock out at least a couple of these angles, but PZ's got a relatively unimpinged line of sight for now. Keoz does deal with the A-site lurk though, and that's a nasty one. They're going to double back on that. Having got the kill, APOC Dud will trade it, but they're still determined to go back up. They know where APOC is. If they deal with him, they know this A-site is vulnerable. Python looking to swing. There's multiple bodies here. They're desperate to find this kill. They're just deathballing it up. Maka will find the trade, and here they go. Out of heaven, Malta is there, has a teammate behind him. The damage is good, but they're yet to get onto site. Now Python drops. Malta finds one, but it will be a bomb plant. Keoz trying to protect his man. He goes down in the fight, and it's all on Python, but he finds too quickly. PZ, last man up, will find the shot. It will be a 10-5 half. VERTEX able to get something on the CT side of Nuke, but they're going to need a lot more where that came from as they transfer to the T side in just a minute.
Standing together.
A scrappy but dominant first half sees Falcons 10-5 as they head to the CT side of their map pick of Nuke, a map that they will be expecting at this point to pick up. It was a rough round the edges play, to say the least. The 5-7s for VERTEX continuing to find damage, Dean, but just never quite enough when the rifles came out to get it going.
No, you were kind of stressing out about it, like how the hell did our 5-7s work so good during the break right there. But yeah, as you said, it never really transferred to the gun rounds. Sometimes on those pistols you feel a bit more freedom. There's not really much pressure because you're not expected to win those rounds, and maybe you get away with a little bit of a crazier play. And I think that's what we were seeing at points. If they can do it now in this pistol round, if they can get off to a solid start on their T side, then at that point the dream is definitely still alive. But Maka, he is shutting me up real quick. Keoz, even while blinded, catches Roflko trying to jump out with a hut, and suddenly it's a 5-on-2. Not a single point of damage even being dealt out up until this point by VERTEX. And, well, it finally will be a kill coming through for Brace, but that's going to be all. It's all on APOC now. Never mind, he doesn't even get away.
Call Maka Freddy Krueger because he's been invading VERTEX's dreams. 2 quick headshots outside make it 3-on-5, and from there it's just a numbers game, plain and simple. 11 on the board, clean as you like in the pistol. Maka continuing to stretch his legs. He's having a performance to remember. I mean, Nuke is an AWP's paradise, but he's been on the T side up until this point. 15 and 7, not bad numbers for an in-game leading AWP either. Just tapping away, clean as you like. The heads have gone. Keoz a little fortunate to get the one blinded up, but at that point it is just a numbers game. 5 more rounds required by the Falcons. Force buy going to come in for VERTEX. They did get that bomb down, so they'll have a couple of AKs. Galil in the hands of Malta. Problem being that Falcons are taking exactly 0 risks. 3M4A1s. Keoz, he stuck it out with the 4A4, and now once the update comes in, of course we're not playing on it, he may well be rewarded. Python, the only man who has to drop down, FAMAS in hand. And they're going to try and push into the ramp. It's the FAMAS they faced early, and it's a nice 1-for-1. APOC taking a decent chunk of damage for it, and hAdji actually hanging around in that molly for a longer while. Wanted the pick desperately, not giving it. Does just reset in the 4-on-4. Ramp control conceded by the CTs, but not taken by the Ts either, as they look to double back. Still, with PZ and Brace holding for flanks outside. 1:05 left on the clock, and where do you look to take this execute if you are VERTEX? You've got 1 smoke, so not even enough to plan the full outside set. But your passiveness may well be vindicated here. Keoz is going for a walk, and there are so many bodies ahead of him. Spraying down, he deals with APOC dud. The low HP bar is his undoing. Keoz now isolated, multiple bodies coming his way. It's Roflko's nade that instead deals with him and keeps things even in the 3-on-3, keeps it competitive at least.
It's all you can ask for at this point. Unfortunately, with Brace being as low as he is, it's a little bit awkward. Obviously, maybe you would prefer the AK in the hands of PZ, but he doesn't have armor either way, so I'm not sure how much of a difference. Did he spot the heal? I thought he saw the leg, but no, PZ actually did make it through without being spotted, although he's going to be, I believe, caught now as he makes his way in through the window. So all good. Maka stops anyone from ratting around through hell, and with that now, the solid positions of both of these players are pretty much perfect to deal with that double come out of Huff. Even if Gaijin did only get the 1 and go down, there's no way they would have been ready for the player directly above as well. 12-5. It's going to be a eco coming in from VERTEX, so it should be 13-5 before we see the guns, and at that point then potentially the last full gun round from VERTEX.
Starting to run out of time here on Nuke. Of course, Inferno is next up. Not a map that the Falcons have played with any kind of recency. So potentially a little rusty around the edges there. A little more for VERTEX to try and manipulate. Huge nade comes in. PZ just catches it between his teeth. Python, meanwhile, pushing through. Will be punished by the tech. Malta are able to find at least one. He's being charged at from just about everywhere simultaneously, but they've managed to dive down the vent, and they've managed to get a plant in the meanwhile. Again, the chaos is just coming through like crazy. Roflko now is the last alive in towards this lower site with just a Glock to work with. Can't expect much of him. He's been a miracle man with these pistols. I didn't even see him get down into the lower site, but they did. Maka will finish the job. The bomb will be defused. It's a nice little moneymaker, though. 2 kills. Please defuse it. I was real worried for a second. Maka is holding off for an awful long time. I was seeing a full G2 moment there where they just don't defuse the thing, but it's going to come through. 13 on the board. And as you said, we're starting to get towards last chance saloon now for Vertex. This rifle buy feels essential.
Yeah, feels essential. They would be screwed without it. To be fair, in CS, with how short games are relatively to what they are, it's every round really is essential. Can't even take the ecos too laissez-faire, I suppose, considering how often we see pistols managing to upset as well. So sometimes it's those smaller rounds you don't expect that actually do end up being the difference maker. But let's see. Coming onto the guns again. As we said, everything pretty much available for Vertex. They even get the off on PZ. That is crazy. What the hell, Keoz? I was not expecting that. Apparently Brace was. He had braced himself.
You were waiting to pull that one out. Man advantage
I wasn't
found.
expecting to use it that way, but yeah. Set itself up.
That's what we should have done. Dean for Dadcaster. That would have been the one. There we go. That's your new name.
Dadcaster.
Yeah, don't wear it out. hAdji and Python to be tested next. It's a ratty little angle for hAdji though, and he gets 3 in quick succession. Peasy next up on the chopping block, can only find the 1. Python immediately trades. It was 4 on 5, it's 1 on 3. Make it none on 3. 14 on the board. Python's just chewing their way through Vertex on this CT side, making it look all too easy. And now Vertex backs against the wall, maxing out their loss bonus. They will be buying. This angle, it's horrid. You've got Python to one corner of you, hAdji to the next, and hAdji just holds left mouse button. That 25-round mag, plenty of bullets to find the 3 kills. He needs a ton of damage. Just 2 rounds to go until Falcons take their map pick now.
Jai to 25 rounds while he's can, lads. I don't know if I'm going to swap back to the A4 yet or not. We'll have to wait and see. Double up setup though, okay. You don't see this too often on the CT side of Nuke. They're up 14-5 though, so I think it's kind of a why not right now. Looks like Python's going to get his chance towards a ramp. He saw a lot of people, at least 3 of them were spotted right there, so he should be calling that over to his teammates. Manages to just about in time drop that smoke, and that's the bomb just gifted out to them now after Maka snatches up that kill. Ooh, the repeat was a little bit too slow. With Python being low as well, this could still get dangerous if he goes down cleanly, but no, he landed the leg. Okay, probably doesn't even realize the damage he done right there, considering he was completely blind, but he should have done enough to make this an easy cleanup.
hAdji's already cleaned up the first. Malta next up. 3v1 to contend with, down on 32 HP. He's got the bomb on his back. Something at least to work with, but again, just no real knowledge of what's going on around him. He knew where hAdji was, no longer where he is. And as he tucks himself behind Orange, is he looking to save that AWP potentially? Bit rough one to take if you're Malta, given the economy, but I mean, they're what, 3,400 loss bonus? You could almost understand it coming into the last potential round. You need to have the best you can, and if you think your AWP's going to get it done for you, if you think Peasy's going to be the man, you can almost see the logic. And, well, I think I've talked Malta and myself into it as he's going to back away. 15-5 to be conceded. Malta to try and save that AWP. Falcons almost can't believe it. They're starting to clear out their corners, but it will be a 15th round uncontested.
Nice little rhyme scheme you had going there.
Wait, what did I say that rhymed?
It was the way you, I think you'd believe it and deceive or something. The way you.
Oh, okay. I don't. Totally unintentional,
You
and I couldn't even remember what I'd said.
I forgot the exact phrasing as well afterwards, so don't worry. 5 to 15. Better pause. This one I think is a tech.
Looks it.
Yeah. We're not seeing the tactical pop-ups that it normally does mean it. Gets confusing because sometimes when we're doing it with the custom HUD on like the, I think when we do ECL Challenger, it doesn't pop up that it's a timeout specifically. So I always end up after going back to those tournaments presuming that it's a tech pause every time. It's like, it doesn't say tac, it must be a tech.
Ah, we just make it up as we go along. That's half the fun. 15-5 though. Not looking very fun for Vertex. This is it. This is the kitchen sink round. They've managed a really solid buy, to be fair to them. They managed to drop across to Malta, who saved the AWP for Peasy. You should change his name to AWPZ, but there we are. One last chance. Sometimes you've got to. Keoz up close and personal. Finds the freebie. AWPZ is DZ. Nothing he can do about it either. He was scoped for the long peek. Gets caught up close. Man down. And again, VERTEX left scrambling. Roflko has picked up the AWP. They wanted this outside control early. They got it, but at the cost of a man, and a big man at that. The man they saved the big green gun for. And now they're just slowing to a crawl. They've got no idea what's coming. Starting out with some outside smokes, trying to take at least a bit of control away. Keoz with a Molotov of his own will make sure that Secret remains unoccupied for now.
Bit of a slow push.
I like the idea. They're trying to wrap in, but Maka is there. He's waiting with the AWP, and it's just a demolition job. Brace gets one. The trade's immediate. APOC dud, have you got a miracle for us? Nothing doing. 16-5 it will be. The Falcons who take their map pick in dominant style. Clean as you like. And we'll be back to break it down in just a couple of minutes.